We're here at Merchant Marine's new head men's lacrosse coach, Dan Paccione. Coach, welcome to Kings Point. How's your first week been so far?
Thanks. It's been great. The support that I've been getting from here, from home, from my family and friends has been outstanding, and I'm really excited to get started. The first day was really busy, sat down with human resources, spent the majority of the day with them. Then I came back here, had the opportunity to sit down with Chris Schnatz, the athletic director here, and he was filling me in with all the ins and outs, and it was extremely helpful to spend some time with him. And then the next person I got to meet, and I was really excited to see him again because it's been a long time, was Coach John Espy. I'm really excited to have him stay on staff here at the Merchant Marine Academy. He's a huge asset to the team. He's a huge asset to this coaching staff as well. So I'm really glad to be back with him. He had coached me on the Long Island Lizards, and this is great to reunite with him and talk lacrosse because he loves the game more than anyone I know.
And Coach, what does it mean for you to finally have your first head coaching job after a long, successful stint as a top assistant at nearby D1 St. John's, and what makes USMMA such a great fit for you?
I'm very grateful for this opportunity and very thankful for all those years that I spent at St. John's University. Met so many great people. Spending all those years with Jason Miller, who was a great friend and mentor to me. We shared so many great memories together. And thinking back to when we first started together at St. John's, I would talk to him on some road trips, and we would talk about our future and maybe where we want to be in 5, 10, we never thought 15 years, and I did mention that my goal was always to be a head coach and live in Long Island. And I eventually got promoted to associate head coach there, and that was great, and we continued to have success at St. John's. And then this was my first opportunity to really to have my own team and become a head coach. So very grateful for all my time and really excited about my new opportunity here.
Great, and you have very big shoes to fill with the departing coaches, Gil and Dwyer. What can you say about them and how you feel they left the program for you?
I feel they left it in great shape, and they have both been extremely supportive. When I first got the job, they were the first ones to give me a call and congratulate me, and we had some great conversations. And what I told them was, when I was on the interview process, while I was talking to and hearing from different coaches, different administrators here, everyone said great things about the program, and it was such a reflection from those guys on what they've done over the years. They've developed leaders, they developed a winning mentality, and they developed a competitive lacrosse team here at Kings Point.
And you met with the team for the first time last night. How did that go?
It was good. I was really excited about that opportunity, nervous and excited, but I felt good about all the times that I've sat in those meetings as an assistant coach and listened to Jason Miller and Andy Shea and Lars Tiffany and guys that I've worked for in the past. And I just tried to take a little bit from each of those guys, including Greg Cannella. I had each guy go through. I remember this when I was playing for Coach Cannella. He made each kid just introduce themselves and say something. I remember sitting there in the locker room and being real nervous about talking to the team, but it was a great icebreaker, and I went and used that technique in my first team meeting, and it was a cool experience. And I realized that a lot of these guys haven't been around each other much this year. You had guys that were the sophomores and juniors were away at sea, and you really just had the seniors and the freshmen that spent the time together in the fall. And really, there's been under a handful of times where they've gotten together as a team, but they have been practicing on their own, and this was the first time they had an opportunity to hear from me and for me to meet them, and it was a special moment for me in my career.
Great. Just looking with respect to your philosophy on both sides of the ball, given your long tenure in the game, what can the team expect from you and your staff by way of playing styles? Obviously, there'll be an adjustment period getting used to a new coach. I heard you explain it to a few players the other day. What will we see from the team on the field?
A couple of guys came into the office, and right away, they wanted to know what kind of plays we were going to run, and then it went from that to how did it feel to play professional lacrosse, and they were just real excited to communicate. And I let them know that I have been mostly on the offensive side of the ball, but I shared an office with the coaching staff at St. John's, and we talked about everything from rides and clears and defense, offense, face-offs, goalies. So I feel confident that I have a good idea of what we can do. I've heard from Coach Espy and the previous coaching staff of what we have and what we're bringing back. The best thing is we have some really strong leaders. We have 3 captains in place. I feel confident that they're going to help us get this team to a really competitive level, and it starts with leadership, and I'm glad that that's in place. The X's and O's are going to come along.
All right, we're a little over a month away from your season. You obviously got a chance to look at the schedule. You got some pretty tough non-conference opponents. How does that help you get ready for Skyline play, and then also talk about the Skyline Conference as well?
We do. It's a tough conference. I'm still becoming familiar with a lot of the Division III programs, but Coach Gill put this schedule together. Plenty of home games to start, which is great. But there's going to be some competitive games, so I have to continue to do my research on all of these teams. Skyline Conference as well, who I know some of the teams, but I'm still going to have to do a lot of research. The one thing I know I have to work on first is learning about my own team, and that's where I'm going to devote the majority of my time.
Great. And finally, just tell us some more about yourself. You know, where you grew up, your playing career, coaching career, family, anything. Really, just anything you want the fans to know.
Well, I got to thank my mom and dad for always being supportive in everything that I do. And it started. I didn't start lacrosse until 6th grade. So before that, I was diehard baseball, into basketball, football, hockey. But then once my neighbor across the street showed me lacrosse, we started playing out front. I got my first opportunity to play in a town league. I actually played for Massapequa, even though I grew up in Farmingdale. And that's where I really got my first taste of it. And then my dad ended up getting me into a camp with some great players, the Sombrado brothers, Mark Millen, Pat McCabe, all big-time guys in Long Island who are Hall of Famers. And so to learn from those guys, kind of have those igniter moments within the camp where this is something I want to be a part of. And so I worked as hard as I could really through middle school and high school. I was very fortunate to play for some great coaches. Coach Parentini was my first coach in middle school, and he showed me some tough love early and put me through some challenges, and that's where I tried to make the decision whether or not I want to be a lacrosse player. So he was a great role model for me at a young age. I played for Coach Hartraft and Coach Buddy Krumenacker at Farmingdale. We had some great success there, but excellent mentors. And then I went on and played for the University of Massachusetts and played for Coach Greg Cannella, Andy Shea, and Terry Mangan. And the 3 of those guys were really good mentors towards me. And so it was then that I realized that I wanted to become a coach myself. And so I had expressed that to Andy Shea. When Andy Shea became the head coach at Yale, he gave me my first coaching opportunity, and I'll always be grateful for that. He took me in. I was working at Lacrosse Unlimited at the time, and I was commuting and working part-time at Yale as a coach, but I really got my foot in the door with him as he started that program, and I learned so much from everyday things that a coach needs to learn. Andy Shea was a great mentor for me. And from there, I came back home. I had an opportunity to work with Lars Tiffany. So between Lars Tiffany and Andy Shea, those are 2 guys that were young in their programs and have gone on to win national championships, and great guys to have in my corner. And so I learned from them before heading out with Coach Jason Miller. And in this final season here, I was with Jason Miller and John DiTomaso and Chris Fisher. And those guys, we had a great fall. And I know the team is in great position to do good things this year. So I'm excited for that program. And with that said, I'm really thankful. I love the game of lacrosse. I'm a lacrosse family. My wife, Katie, played for Farmingdale High School and went on to win a national championship at CW Post and become an All-American, so she had a great career. My 3 kids have started playing at a very young age and play competitive travel lacrosse, and I coach them in their town teams. So lacrosse is a major part of our family, and we're looking to connect that with the family here at Kings Point.
Awesome. Thank you. Welcome to Kings Point, Coach.
Thank you. Go Kings Point.